Well, it's been 7 years since Robert Pattinson shot to fame in the film franchise Twilight.
Now he's back in a new biopic about the legendary film icon James Dean. Sam Rubin joins us again from LA with more. Sam, I mean, Twilight made him a household name, but it also kind of typecast him, I guess, what, as a vampire. But do you think this one's going to be a hit? Is he playing James Dean?
He's not playing James Dean. David and Sonia, good morning. Rather, he's playing a very famous photographer for Life magazine, hence the title of the name, who shot several iconic and memorable shots of James Dean and thus established the photographer's career and helped very much to establish James Dean's career. So thus the title of the movie called Life. And the big question in Robert Pattinson's life is simply this. After Twilight, what do you do for an encore? He has steadily worked, but it's almost impossible to have one movie, let alone a series of movies, as incredibly successful as those Twilight films. Thus the dilemma. In fact, for a new movie he's filming right now, he's grown a huge beard. He's almost entirely unrecognizable. Not so during this conversation, though, about the movie that's opening soon in Australia that is called Life. Watch this.
I know we're gonna try.
It's Hollywood's double-edged sword, being cast in a super successful franchise.
You just don't belong in my world, Bella.
But left unable to break the mold. Typecasting has happened to some of the world's most famous actors. Mark Hamill.
Well, if there's a bright center to the universe, you're on the planet that it's farthest from.
I see so.
No, you can call me Luke.
Daniel Radcliffe.
I think I can tell the wrong sort for myself, thanks.
And of course, English actor Robert Pattinson, who became a global superstar playing teen vampire Edward Cullen.
Marry me, Bella.
I remember when I was doing the Twilight series, it always felt like I would do movies in between each Twilight movie, and it felt like there was a kind of safety net. Like if you mess something up, then you do another Twilight movie, and then everyone kind of forgot anyway, and then you do another one.
I think 18 is a little young to start worrying about that.
It's 1 year older than you.
No, it isn't. I'm 109.
When they stopped doing the series, it felt a little bit nerve-wracking at the beginning. But now, I don't know, I feel a lot more secure because you start navigating this different, like a different road, and every decision you make is your decision. It's not from the past.
Pattinson has made a string of movies since filming on Twilight Wrapped, and with a new one about to hit cinemas, he hopes this time his fans will come along for the ride.
It's a long road to. For people to accept you as different roles when something's been so massive. But I can feel it sort of changing as it gets further away.
There's this kid, and he's interesting. There's an awkwardness, something very pure. You can't fake it. The kid's name's James Dean.
The movie is called Life, a biopic about movie star James Dean. Rob's character is the world-famous photographer Dennis Stock and explores the role he played in fueling Dean's fame into legend status.
A photo essay on him.
An unknown actor. I'm Jimmy.
Dennis.
Are we gonna take some great photos or what?
Are you gonna make him famous?
I guarantee it.
The movie also gave Pattinson a glimpse into what it's like to be on the other side of the lens.
I'm not even gonna send these photos to life. A guy looking drunk, that is your leader of a new movement?
I lose myself in my roles. I don't want to lose myself in all this other stuff.
He's unreliable, he's evasive.
As an artist.
I'm an artist too.
It's interesting how secure you feel when you're in the pack of photographers and you can hide your face behind the camera and stuff, and seeing how alone the person is on the carpet, and you know the flashes, they can't see any of you. But you're like, you can do whatever you want and say whatever you want. You definitely feel like where the power trip comes from.
Do you think life is going to change their mind?
I came in thinking that I'd find something beautiful. And I know what to do, and life would say yes.
The problem is you came here thinking that I'm the subject of this little expedition.
Photography, it's a good way of saying, I've been here and you've been here. We live in hope.
You know, that film really does look good. It reminds me a little bit of a conversation I had not so long ago with Jennifer Aniston, where she talked about how sometimes she'd walk into a casting session and they're like, no, there's too much you that you can't possibly play some other part. That it's a baggage of sorts. Also, I think when Pattinson references security, there's an economic security now. He works at his leisure. He doesn't necessarily have to ever work again, and that's a rare, circumstance for a young actor to be in. And so I think that enables him to pick and choose more carefully. Obviously, he wants films that connect with audiences. I don't think he has the expectation that anything will connect the way that Twilight did, but maybe that's better. Maybe he can have a longer, more sustaining career in things that are not just, giant phenomenons like that.
Yeah. Exactly, and he's more likely to get an Oscar, which I'm sure would be great on his mantle. Sam, good to speak to you. You can check out Rob Pattinson's new movie. It's called Life. It's in select cinemas this Thursday and still to come. Yeah, and I love James Dean too. I love that period and all those photos are amazing.
Exactly.